It's no secret that adding a new baby to the family is a huge change, and with huge change comes disruption in sleep. So if you're adding a new baby to the family, then you may have a toddler, and yes, your toddler might go through a sleep regression at some point in the process of bringing home a new baby. But there are definitely some things that we can do to ease the transition and lessen the sleep regression. Not only am I a certified pediatric sleep consultant, but I am a mom of 3. So not only have I made the transition from 1 kid to 2 kids, but from 2 kids to 3 kids. So I've made this transition of bringing home a new baby a couple times. Tip number 1 is to prepare your toddler. Now, of course, they're going to see your belly grow. They're going to kiss your belly and kiss your baby brother, kiss your baby sister, like all those things. But that's such an abstract thought that your child really might not know what the heck you're talking about. How is there a human in your belly? Did you eat somebody? So let's take it a step further and let's have you read some books with your toddler. Let your toddler help decorate the nursery. Bring your toddler to some of your checkup appointments if you're allowed to. Another thing that makes this whole transition actually really fun is if you let your child, your toddler, buy a present for the baby. I will never forget when my oldest son Timmy was 3 years old and my youngest son Joshua was born, and Timmy got a race car for Joshua, just a little Hot Wheels race car. And obviously Joshua was like literally hours old, and Timmy was just like giving him a race car, but it was the sweetest thing. I don't know, like maybe it's just like a me thing, but having your toddler get the baby a present, I think it's precious. So let's just do it. The second thing that you need to do is keep your routines consistent for your toddler. So obviously everything is going to change, but this is something you need to talk to your partner about before the baby comes. Somebody needs to be in charge of the toddler's bedtime routine and morning routine. And to make it easy for you, I have bedtime routine cards and morning routine cards linked in the description box down below. So grab those, download them, print them, cut them out, laminate them, and hang them up on the wall so your toddler can be a little bit independent, but also not too independent because you don't want them to feel shut out. But just make sure that you are keeping routines consistent for your child. Tip number 3 is my absolute favorite memory of when Timmy was a baby and Kaya was born. So Timmy was still a baby. He was 16 months old. I had dedicated very special one-on-one time to Timmy every single day while Kaya was napping. And the joy of having a baby, or a newborn really, is that they require so much more sleep than a toddler. So Timmy was down to 1 nap a day. So I did correlate their schedules so that they were sleeping at least 1 time a day at the same time. So I had a little bit of time to maybe take a shower and change my clothes, brush my teeth, you know, splash some water on my face. The one-on-one time with Timmy once Kaya was born it was my favorite thing. And it was mommy and Timmy front porch time, and he would have hot chocolate and I would have my coffee, which was really a chai tea latte, but who's really asking? We lived on a very busy street in front of an amusement park. So not only could we see the rides going by in our backyard up and down the hill, hearing the kids scream, and yes, of course we had white noise on for Kyle while she was napping, but it was such a special time with each other, and we loved watching the cars go by, and it was such a like fun and bonding time, but it was also educational because we would count how many buses, count how many cars, count how many trucks, and then we would be able to say hi to the mailman. Okay, total like side story here, but like I loved our mailman back in the day because our mailboxes were on our house, like they were connected to our house, so he was like delivering mail on foot. And when we moved to this house, we don't have that anymore. Like our mailbox is down the street, not down the street, but at the corner, so they like just drive by, whatever. Our mailman was walking around on foot singing so loud. Like, remember the song, "So who are the people in your neighborhood?" Like, that's what front porch time with Timmy felt like. Anyways, okay, back to the topic here. So tip number 4 is to have some big hit activities for your child while you're occupied with the baby. So here's an example. When I was nursing Kaya, I would have Timmy read her a book. And again, like seriously, sweetest, most precious thing. I honestly think that time was my favorite time in my life. Seeing Timmy become a big brother to a little sister and having all of these things that he was doing, it just, when I look back at it right now, like holy crap, I'm not gonna cry. I might, but some of the other big kid activity ideas is that this is a good time for you to do sensory bins with your kid. You can have them doing like water stuff, rice play, Play-Doh, anything that you say like, oh, we can't do this around the baby, so let's do it now. This is your big kid time. And again, that's a good time to do that is when the baby is napping. Tip number 5 is to give your toddler special jobs. Sometimes when you're in the middle of all the things you need to do with your new baby, that's when toddlers get into shenanigans. And so giving them something specific to do while you're doing something like changing a diaper, ask your toddler, hey, can you bring me 1 diaper or can you bring me 2 wipes? And ask them to specifically do something very specific. Sometimes that might even be a different little job saying, hey, can you bring this baby bottle and put it in the kitchen sink? You want to give your child a specific job and something specific activity-wise that you want them to do instead of just letting them run wild around the house and possibly dump cups of water or milk or a whole entire pot of soil on the floor. It's possible that I'm speaking from experience on this one, so let's just trust your sleep consultant. Tip number 6, I 110% relate to not being able to do this, but if you can, I want you to remember to call in reinforcements. So if you have a mom, a sister, a cousin, a friend, anyone that can just come hold the baby while you do something special with your toddler, or maybe they do something special with your toddler while you take a nap. It took me a very long time to accept the fact that I needed help. I was previously a preschool teacher and I had a classroom full of 24 kids. So in my mind, I'm like, well, if I had a classroom of 24 kids and my classroom was great, then why can't I do all of this by myself with 3 kids? Like 24 kids, 3 kids, like it really shouldn't be that hard, but it is. It really does take a village, and I think that is like one of my biggest regrets as a mom is not asking for more help from the beginning. Because by the time I had the 3rd kid, I was like, oh my gosh, somebody please come help me. But I had already pushed so many people away. So please, please, please don't make that same mistake as me. And if somebody's offering to help or do anything for you, take it. Even if you don't need help or maybe you really don't want help, just say, thank you for offering. I don't really need help with anything today, but I would love some company. That would be a great thing to do too. Keep in mind that you want to call on people who you are okay with them seeing you at your most exhausted, and maybe you're full of breast milk all over your shirt. Maybe you've got baby spit up on your shoulder. Who cares? Maybe you haven't washed your hair in a week and a half. I mean, the oils, natural oils in your hair, it's all good, it's fine. But just call on somebody who you know is not going to be judgmental and who's not gonna like walk in and say, girl, you got laundry up the wazoo. Call somebody who's gonna say, wow, let me help you fold this laundry. You know, like let them do the heavy lifting and the hard work, and you get the rest you need and just do whatever you need when that person is at your house supporting you. The next thing that you can do to help your toddler prepare for having a new sibling is to be prepared. Be prepared. You know that scene in The Lion King? Yeah, okay. Anyways, you want to make sure that you have a toddler clock and a reward system for your toddler. Now, if you're not familiar with using a toddler clock and a reward system, check out this video when you're done with this one. Number 8, this is usually the number 1 thing that I always say, but have patience. Understand that you are going to go through a honeymoon phase where maybe your toddler is really excited about having a new sibling and you're like, oh great, this is an easy transition, everything is going well. And then maybe 3 months go by and that's when your toddler starts kind of showing some signs of not being so interested, like, can this kid go back to the baby factory? No, this kid is part of our family. But if you are patient and you understand that your toddler is going through a big life change, just the same way you are, they're probably just gonna deal with it differently, and you have to be so super patient with your child, which is going to take a lot of effort because you're exhausted, you're healing your body from labor and delivery, you're getting to know this new human that just came into your world, and you have to keep your patience with your toddler. So it's a lot, but you can do it. Don't forget to download the toddler routine cards in the description box down below. There are specific ones for bedtime and specific ones for morning time. I can't tell you how much these help so many, like literally like thousands of families out there have my bedtime routine cards. So make sure that you get them as well. I promise If you use the routine cards for 2 weeks before you expect your child to know what to do with them, they will work. And reinforce it with positive reinforcement. I can't tell you, I mean, like seriously, how many times do I say I can't tell you how many families this has helped, but seriously, trust what I'm telling you. Please grab the bedtime routine cards and keep blooming. Mwah.